Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video. Today we're checking out living in Australia, top 4 reasons why I love Australia. So before we start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's find out.
I've been living in Australia for almost 6 years, and I would like to share my reasons
Six
why I
years,
love this
wow.
country and what makes me grateful to be here. If you're interested in Australia or planning to move here, please continue watching. Point number one, weather and climate. This point for me is both love and hate,
Oh,
but
but
I'm gonna talk
is
about
it
love
too
part
hot?
today because it prevails. I came from Eastern Europe, Ukraine, and we're supposed to have 4 seasons over there, but in reality we have just two. One is pretty nice and warm, and the second one is not very pleasant. Not only it may be very cold and snowy during winter time, but most of the time in winter you have the combination of rain and snow, and you look in the window, you see just this. So when I arrived to Australia
That doesn't look nice at all.
winter time, but most of the time in winter you have the combination of rain and snow, and you look in the window, you see just this.
Oh my gosh. What is this? It looks like sand, like at the beach. Is this supposed to be like snow? But because of the rain, it became like sandy, muddy. Let me know. Wow.
So when I arrived to Australia, to Sydney, and I realized that I don't have to wear winter boots, fur coat, gloves, beanies and multiple layers of clothing, I couldn't be happier. If talking about Sydney, New South Wales and the majority of big cities in Australia, on average, 7 months in a year you can enjoy really nice weather, which is not too hot, not too cold, while the rest of the year may be a bit colder or a bit hotter, depending on the area you live. And when I say colder, I mean the temperature doesn't drop below 6 or 7 degrees Celsius. Of course, if I take other cities and other states such as Tasmania or Northern Territory, the weather will be completely different over there. But this is another reason why I love Australia. Australia is a continent, which means you can enjoy different climate zones within one country. If you want tropics, go north. You want skiing? Go south, southeast. Yes, Australia has its own mountains, and fun
I
fact,
like the cold
Australian
warm.
mountains receive more snow than Swiss Alps. And it's all the same country. It even can be same time of the year, which I think is quite awesome. Point number two, Australians and Australian mentality. Australians tend to be easygoing, relaxed and laid back pretty most of the time. So when I watch videos about the USA and people who live there, I've got this feeling that in the USA it's all about work, you need to be very persistent, etc. In Australia, people tend to have different values, such as family, work and life balance. And they seem to put themselves in the first place, not money or work. I'm not saying that you don't have to work here. Believe me, you do need. Australia is a pretty expensive country. But I've got the feeling that people here really appreciate their free time. Their time on weekends with their families, during public holidays. They know how to work, but they also never forget to relax. My personal experience, if you ask someone to do something on Friday afternoon, most likely you will have to wait until the next week. So the general vibe of Australia is to enjoy life. Don't take it too serious and do not worry about things that do not matter. Another thing that I really love about Australians, they really don't appreciate showing off, and they would never judge people on how they look or what car they drive. They are really so easygoing. That is
One thing I remembered as well, very recently, because we do a lot of like other country reactions, like the culture over there and why people move there. Like people move to Germany, to Netherlands, and other parts of Europe, and now Australia. We've delved into Australia a little bit before in the past, and also in Ireland, Scotland, right? Most of them always talk about like people don't have that nature of like showing off and stuff. And I just remembered that here, like people judge you by the car that you drive. So if you're like, oh, I have this nice car, or even if you drive or you don't drive, they still like look at you like, oh, because you don't have a car, so it means that you can't afford it or you're poor. If you drive this certain car, oh, you're better off, right? So people do look at you a certain way depending on what you drive or what you wear or what you have on, right? Or what phone you hold, anything that people judge you. And I feel like because of that, people prioritize materialistic stuff more than well-being, right? Some people will like loan millions, thousands for an iPhone to change every year for their cars and clothes, but for what? I don't know. For what? I don't know.
Probably why the phrase no worries is used so often instead of thank you, you're welcome, sure
No
thing,
worries.
etc.
Oh,
No worries.
Another
I
reason
get it
that
now.
actually stems from the previous point relates to raising a family in Australia. It is quite a good place if you have kids or you're planning to have ones. First of all, the whole infrastructure and most of the facilities are so well designed for people with kids, starting with the public transport and finishing toys and entertainments for kids in pubs and restaurants. When I was living in a regional town, 5-hour drives from Sydney, one thing that amazed me was a playground at the back of the pub, like a real pub. So it is so well thought. Parents
What?
can enjoy their drink
Wow.
while the kids just playing
Oh,
around with other
wow.
kids. Also, most
You're
of
never gonna see that
Australians
here.
have 2 and more kids. It is very common to have 4 and 5 kids. Children are in respect here, and I would say no one will be annoyed if there is a crying baby in a bus. Well, at least they will never show that and they will never comment on that. I don't have kids yet, but with conversation with my friends who have kids here, they all commented how much more easier and more convenient to have kids here compared to their own countries. Point number 4, Australian wildlife. I'm not gonna talk about snakes and spiders, which is also quite an interesting topic, but 80% of Australian wildlife, plants, mammals, reptiles, and frogs, are unique to Australia and are found nowhere in the world. When I think about, I really appreciate that I can live here and be exposed to all this wildlife. Kangaroos, koalas, wombats, dingoes, Tasmanian devil, orcas, and so other many animals. I've seen kangaroos many times during my life here, but whenever I see it again, I'm getting so excited, like I see them for the first time. Apart from that, there are around 10,000 beaches in Australia. I don't know how many years you need to visit them all. I think there is not enough life. If we talk about natural landmarks in Australia, there are 12 apostles, Great Barrier Reef, Uluru or Ayers Rock, the Pinnacles, the Great Ocean Road, Wave Rock, Whitehaven Beach, and so many others. Believe me, there is no holiday that will be enough to see it all. After 6 years, I haven't even seen half of this, as Australia is quite big and distant. But it is amazing how many unique experiences you can have here. So, it were my main reasons why I think Australia worth all of the struggles of immigrant life. There are many other small things which I really enjoy, but even the one that I mentioned are enough for me to choose this country to live in and raise my family here. I hope it was a useful video and you enjoyed watching it and getting to know Australia a bit better. Thank you.
I feel like even us just sitting here, we will never get enough time to know everything that there is to know about Australia because there's so many things. And it's just a very warm, not literally, yes, literally, and also like the people are so warm. Warm. How do Australians say warm? Warm. The person who comes to my mind is Felix. That's the only, and Bang Chan. They're the only Australian reference that I have in my head as of now. But anyways, that was a really good. I want to know more about Australia because it's like closer to me, and I feel like it's easier for me to get there to rather than the other side of the world, like our reactions to Europe. I feel like, but I also love the. I don't necessarily love hot weather, But if it's warm, okay, I'm done. I'm done trying. If it's like, you can still wear like jackets, hoodies. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen anybody wear a hoodie in Australia, but hey, I could be wrong. Like she said, it's different weather in different places. So, anyways, guys, if there's other videos that I want me to check out, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.